All right, everybody. It is time here. Thursday, 8 p.m. We just got our brand new weekly lucky draw update introduced into Call of Duty Mobile, and this one is going to be a fun one because we're actually going to be getting two legendary items, one in the form of the new legendary character skin Mace, and another in the form of the Renetti pistol. Now, I'm honestly super excited about the Renetti because it is going to be our first burst pistol introduced into the game, and from the looks of it, it's going to be an extremely reliable sidearm. It does have the ability to one burst up close, and we'll have to see once we actually get into the game how much you can do with it. But again, from the looks of it, it's going to be extremely powerful, extremely reliable, and definitely, in my opinion, it's going to be like the sniper's best friend. They're going to have that in the back pocket always. Especially with the nerf coming to the 50 GS Akimbo, this is going to be probably the new meta we see for sidearms. Now, quickly before we do hop into the lucky draw, I just wanted to point out for all of you who don't want to spend a couple $100s on the game, especially for a sidearm, that currently the Renetti is available for free, unlocked through the seasonal events category in Quick Hands. You guys are going to see there's a whole bunch of different pistol challenges that you're going to have to be doing, and as you progress through those, you'll unlock a bunch of different items, as well as that final one being the basic no skin Renetti pistol. It'll definitely be a grind, but judging by what I've seen so far with this weapon, it's going to be worth it. With all that being said though, let's finally hop into the lucky draw. Our first pull is going to be at 430 CP. Nothing too crazy expensive, and we will be unlocking the combat axe. I didn't even see that in the draw. Yippee. We'll take that. Next up, it's going to be 80 CP. And while we're going through this pull, I just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, which is me. So huge shout out to my Noah from YouTube Plays channel, which is actually where I do PC content. And today, the reason I wanted to shout this out, a new game, Resident Evil 8 Village, is coming out, and I'm going to be covering it at midnight as soon as it happens. So if you guys want to see a whole nother side of my content, as well as this brand new game that has been extremely hyped and something that I'm super excited for, make sure to go ahead and check out the link down in the description below. For our fourth pull and 300 CP, we're going to be getting the legendary Into the Fire calling card. Nothing crazy, as to be expected. Next up, we got 500. We're going to try to go through this as fast as possible. This is halfway through the draw. We're going to get the Now What emote. 800 CP for our sixth pull. We're going to be getting ourselves the axe. So we actually got ourselves the axe to match the combat axe. 1300 CP. This is where it's going to start getting pricey. We're going to get ourselves the wingsuit, as to be expected. And our last three remaining items are going to be the last three best items in the draw, in my opinion, and that's going to be the DRH, Mace, and Renetti. 2000 CP, we're more than likely going to be getting ourselves the DRH, which I do want to take a closer look at here because it looks like this skin might have a very faint custom looking iron sight. Something about the iron sight does look a little bit different than the stock version, but we'll have to check that later on. Actually, you know what? I might just equip that here in today's video since the Renetti is a secondary. Anyway, moving forward, 3900 CP, extremely pricey pull. We're guaranteed one of the two legendaries, and we actually got ourselves the Renetti pistol. That leaves me in a spot here to actually not complete the lucky draw. The Renetti is the focus of today's video, and honestly, the only thing that I wanted from this draw. Like, it would have been nice to get Mace, but at the end of the day, it's a character skin. You guys know I don't typically use many different character skins. I am curious on what's different between Maces. No, Reaper! No! So I'm scrolling through here just out of curiosity to see what the difference is between the Dark Nikto and the Mace Final Guard, and it looks like Mace's AR watch has like a face sort of built into it. It's a slightly modified version, but not too different to make me want to spend $60. But then here's the major difference. Mace's kill streak that's going to be unique is the Predator missile, as opposed to Dark Nikto that has the custom UAVs. So I'm curious how noticeable this is. I don't think I'm going to be pulling it here in today's video, but if this is something that you guys are curious on and want to see in maybe tomorrow's video, let me know in the comment section. So with that being said, we're going to avoid completing the draw as of right now and just equip some of the new items that we have unlocked. We are going to max out the Renetti so we have the ability to throw on any of the attachments we need. And here's the base version. Here is the legendary version that we just unlocked, and it does look like this custom iron sight is going to be extremely similar to a red dot. So for this first matchup, we're going to avoid throwing an optic on just for that reason. And this is the build we're going to be using here for our first matchup with the Renetti, just kind of assuming that this weapon, since it is a pistol, is going to have an extremely high mobility, which it does. Even with me lowering it, it's still at 101. So what I went ahead and threw on was the MIP extended light barrel, folding stock, OWC tactical laser, lightweight trigger. I think this one's going to be extremely important because it does increase the amount of fire rate for the weapon by 10%, as well as the large extended mag B, which is going to raise the magazine capacity by 12 shots. So again, we'll end up making a little bit of changes as we familiarize ourselves a little bit more with the weapon after this first game. We'll actually going to be doing a second with the default version of the weapon, but this is just what we're going to be using here for our first matchup. And we're actually going to be getting ourselves a 1v1 duel on Pine here for our first matchup. I decided to hop in into the group combat, I think was the name of the playlist. So we're not going to be doing ranked here for today's video, but we're just going to be showcasing the weapon. So I don't really think that the competition is going to matter all too much. And I think a 1v1 would probably be best. But here we are getting our first look at the weapon in game. We'll go ahead and just kind of sit back at spawn and admire this. This is the iron sight. I like how the pistol sort of has a face and it looks back at you. That's the sound effect for the weapon, as well as the burst and its reload. And I hear our opponent coming. And go ahead and take him out there for our first kill of the game. They had the MW11 on it, I assume that was. So it seems like they're going through and doing their challenges as well. There we go, cleaning up that third kill as well. So I know this weapon does have the ability to one burst. We haven't quite gotten one yet, but I think it's because of the bullet like body multipliers. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so you're definitely gonna have to hit like from the chest up in order to one burst at a very close range. That time around we actually hit some headshots, so we were able to hit the one burst. Let's see if we can do it again. Not quite, but still cleaning up the kill there for the first round victory. So our opponent's actually picked a shotgun here for round 2, so I'm gonna have a little bit of an advantage at range when it comes to playing here against them. Oh, wow. So that first burst, I think I hit every single shot on it. It took away about like 65-ish of our opponent's damage. Yeah, 2 bursts at that range, hitting every bullet, and I think that was like sort of lower waist as well. We'll have to go into the testing range at the end of this video and really just like test out the numbers. But as far as my initial like first impressions, this thing is honestly going to be extremely powerful. Again, especially at those longer ranges. I wasn't expecting it to 2 burst that far, but I guess that's 6 shots. It just goes through it really fast. Oh my god. Yeah, this thing's insane. I'll do it there for our first match with this weapon. So I want to quickly go to the firing range here before we hop into our second match, just to test out the multipliers. So this is within, I would say 6 meters. So 6 meters to the chest, it's doing 44 a hit, which is going to be a 3 burst. To the waist, it's 28. So that's where I was saying like the body multipliers really come in to be a factor. Whenever I was like point blank hitting between like the waist or lower, I was not able to get the one burst, and that's why, just because it has such a big multiplier difference. Headshots are going to do 56 apiece. So that means it's actually going to be a 2 shot to the head from within like a close range. Again, arms and hands are going to be at 44 a shot. So that means it's also going to be a 1 burst. I just can't get over how powerful the headshots are. We're actually going to swap things up and hop into the shoot the shit playlist here for our second game. I can already say with the fact that this does have like such a strong ability to 1 or 2 burst at all different ranges, it's going to be a super strong, reliable secondary. And I know I've said that multiple times, but this has just kind of been proof here in our first game alone. And we're going to have a lot of different players using sidearms trying to unlock this weapon themselves. Go ahead and take out our first 2. Oh yeah, I didn't really get to appreciate the death animation for this weapon as well, since it is a legendary. There's our first look at it, like really just true detailed look. I can't get over how powerful this thing is at those like longer ranges though. Whew. So it's also, I think, worth noting the fact that although this is a burst weapon, just like most of the bursts in Call of Duty Mobile, it's like a full auto burst where all you have to do in order to like get those burst shots to activate is just hold down the trigger. And it'll do the bursting on its own. So what you guys are watching is technically like the fastest fire rate on the weapon, just because I am holding it down. There's a nice little 1 burst there. We got footsteps all around us. Counter UAV. Ooh. All right, we're gonna go ahead and back out of this match now and swap over to the default version of the Renetti just to show that off a little bit here in the video. So this is a really interesting attachment right here. The control stock is actually what this is. It goes on the front of the weapon, acts as a foregrip, but takes the slot of the laser attachments. Super interesting. But anyway, as far as the build that we're going for right now, as you guys can see with the monolithic and OWC Ranger barrel, we're going for an increase damage at range build, and I bumped it up by 70%. As you can see here by the stats, we're all the way up to 61. And we're going to throw on lastly the large extended mag B once more, just to make this as deadly of like a long range pistol as we can. We found ourselves here on shipment, which isn't going to be the best, but yeah, we'll see what we can do here with the weapon. And also, I said I wanted to check this out. This does have just like the basic iron sight for the DRH. So if you guys are wondering about the epic variant within the lucky draw, that's how it looks in game. Oh my god, I 1 bursted that player that far at range. So I'm just trying to like post up. This is like a super low recoil build. I'm gonna be honest, I might just prefer the default iron sight over the legendary. And yeah, just like the other version though, this one doing mad damage at range. So the monolithic suppressor actually taking up a large amount of the iron sights on this thing, but I think it looks kind of cool. Putting in work at the moment. We'll go ahead and pop this UAV encounter. I have a bunch of players over here. That was a one burst. Up the UAV. Yeah, so the headshots at that range are a one burst. I would assume if you just hit one, that's what actually allows you to one burst. So I would say this is actually going to be an extremely like high skill gap weapon to use, just because of the fact that you have to be so accurate on the portions of the body that you're shooting in order to get that like one burst with the weapon. Oh my god, but when you hit the headshots, that thing kills at mad crazy ranges. Hey, there we go. We got ourselves the nuke. We'll go ahead and call it in here before the game ends. But yeah, that will do it here for our showcasing of the brand new Renetti pistol. Once again, this is the build that we were using here in the second match, and this is the build that we were using in the first one. Personally, I think that this weapon would be best built out for the longer ranges with more control of the vertical recoil, just because it'll give you a little bit more accuracy at those longer distance, allowing you to one burst more often. As far as mobility goes, it's not really like harmful to lower a mobility on a pistol or any of the sidearms, just because they typically have so much because of how lightweight they really are. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you guys all think of the new Renetti pistol. Personally, I'm a big fan of having this in the game. Burst sidearms, in my opinion, have always been something that I've enjoyed using throughout all of the Call of Duties I've played. So to have another one here in Call of Duty Mobile just makes me happy. And again, I think it's going to be super helpful to have as a sidearm when using snipers. Whether or not this weapon is going to come out with an akimbo perk in the future, we don't know. I would assume it's not going to, since it didn't release here with the legendary form of the weapon, but you know, only time will tell with that. And if it does, oh, that's going to be a game changer, dude. That's going to be a dangerous sidearm to have. But everyone, that is going to go ahead and do it here for today's video. As I'd mentioned, if you guys all did enjoy, I'd appreciate if you went ahead and gave the video a like rating. And for all of you who want to see some Resident Evil Village content on my PC channel, once again, at midnight tonight, the game is coming out, so I'll have my video uploaded around like 1:30 p.m. It's going to be about an hour long. We'll more than likely premiere it, so I look forward to seeing all of you guys on the Plays channel around that time once it happens. Again, link will be in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. That'll do it for myself, and I'll catch you all in the next one.